Hi everyone, I hope you all are able to hear me. So let me quickly go ahead and then try to start today's session. So today we will be discussing about the applications of the blockchain technology. So let's just observe the agenda for today, what we are going to cover. So we would be able to understand like what exactly is this blockchain technology, and then the applications of the blockchain technology, like what is that which is actually required. Tech stack here means the technology stack, like what is that which you need to learn in terms of technology to go ahead and try to create an application yourself. And then finally, hands-on. Hands-on in the sense, please don't expect that we will be doing a practicals over here. I will be just showing you the tools, like what is required for you to go ahead and try to write the programs and all. Okay. So I'll be showing you the tools because the hands-on itself will be taking a lot of time to be dealt with. Okay. So as we have very limited time with us, so we would ensure that we will just see the tools which are being present so that you can explore and you can just see like how we can utilize those tools in order to develop our own applications. Okay, so those are all about some of the things which all of us actually need to understand when like what we are trying to do in Edureka in terms of blockchain certification training. So I hope that I have given you a glance and a clarity, like whatever which has been mentioned. Now, right now, I'll be moving into the topic which we have actually discussed of. Okay, that is our about applications and all these things. Okay, so now if I would just go ahead and try to make you understand here what exactly is the blockchain over here. Okay, that is one of the thing which we need to consider. So now when I just move ahead here, okay, what exactly is a blockchain? So many of you, I don't know, like you may you may hear about this technology little late. Some of you may be able to know about this technology right now. Some may know in the year like last year or maybe 2 years back or 3 years back. Like maybe you would have heard somewhere or the other. But generally, people don't hear about this blockchain technology. There are many people in the world who know about Bitcoin. See, if even if I would say, even I learned this technology, the blockchain technology, only after knowing what is Bitcoin. Even the world also got to know about the blockchain technology once the Bitcoin has evolved. Until then, no one was knowing about this blockchain technology. Indeed, this blockchain technology was there from the year 1990 itself, before the internet or .com came into the picture, right? By that time itself, the technology was already present. But as you know, when there is no demand, why would I use it? So obviously no one has used it. So when the Bitcoin came into reality in the year 2008 by Satoshi Nakamoto, okay, the founder of the Bitcoin, we call, okay, the founder of the Bitcoin is Satoshi Nakamoto. That is in the year 2008, Satoshi Nakamoto came into the picture and he has created this coin called as the Bitcoin. Once this Bitcoin came into limelight, then people has gone through this Bitcoin white paper. What did they understand is behind this Bitcoin, there is something which is actually making it run in a very transparent way, and that is none other than your blockchain technology. This is how world got to know about it. Right now the people are not understanding because just they are thinking that okay, blockchain is the one. But in reality, if I talk, I'm talking about 10 years or let me say 15 years back. Generally what happened, okay, so people don't know what is this technology. Once the Bitcoin came into limelight in the year 2008, then people got to know that okay, behind this Bitcoin, okay, there is something called as our blockchain technology. That is the reason why Bitcoin is running in a very great way. Okay, so that is how you should understand that Bitcoin is the first application of the blockchain technology. You talk about any complex applications related to blockchain technology, or you talk anything related to blockchain, first thing what you always need to put it in your mind is because of Bitcoin, blockchain came into limelight, and Bitcoin is always the first application of the blockchain technology. And your Bitcoin is actually a cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency means it is like your normal currency which you generally use for your transactions. It may be your dollar or maybe Indian rupee, or it may be Canadian dollar, whatever it may be. In the same way, here Bitcoin is also a cryptocurrency which is global. That means the people who stay in India, for them also it is a Bitcoin. The people who stay in US, the people who stay in other parts of the world, for everyone it is a Bitcoin. It is not a local currency, it is global all throughout. Okay, that is the first application which actually has come into limelight with the help of the blockchain technology in the year 2008. This is the first thing which we always need to consider. Then later, when I move ahead and make you understand another important thing here, these blocks which are being present here, right? This is what we call it as our blockchain. Okay, the blocks which are being present here, right? All of them, they will be chained. That is the reason why we call it as a blockchain. Okay, all the blocks, it will be added in the form of a chain, and then it will keep on added like that continuously. There is a time frame for it. Okay, you may think in your mind, okay, you say me that the blocks fall inside the blockchain, I understand that, but what is the time? Is there any stipulated time like where every block would fall inside the blockchain? Then I will say approximately 10 minutes. Average time is, it will take approximately 10 minutes for the block to fall inside the blockchain. Okay, this is for the Bitcoin. As I'm talking about the Bitcoin, which is the first application of your blockchain technology, right? So whatever the blocks which are being present here, all these blocks will fall inside the blockchain. Okay, and the approximate time how much it would take, it will take 10 minutes. So these are certain things which we actually need to consider. Okay, so now if you could observe here, in order to create any applications using blockchain technology, you need to know certain parameters, or you need to know certain things. Now for that, you need to know to create a language. You should know some language. When I say language, please don't think that it is an English or maybe some other language I'm trying to talk here. I am trying to talk something which is related to your programming language. Okay, without having a programming language, right, you can't go ahead and try to do anything. So for especially for the blockchain, you should know something called as solidity. Okay, we call it as solidity. Solidity is the programming language which we need to use in order to make sure that we can create our own applications. Okay, so we will be learning the basics, the advanced, and how to create an application inside our blockchain and Ethereum certification training, which I said 36 hours of content, right? There we will be looking into this part very rigorously, and we will be understanding that how we can go ahead and try to create this solidity program and then creating a successful application on top of the blockchain technology. So only thing what you need to focus right now is, if you want to create your own application on top of the blockchain technology, then you should be very much familiar with the solidity programming language. Without understanding or without knowing this programming language, right, it will be very difficult for us to go ahead and try to create an application. So this is also one of the important thing which we need to consider from here. Okay, now let me go again one step further, as we got to know that we use Solidity for our programming language in order to create the applications on top of the blockchain technology. So let me take you a little bit further again. So if you observe here, okay, whatever transactions or anything which is being present, right, everything will be present inside your blockchain. Like any transaction, let me say I have sent a transaction to Henry, second transaction I have done to Vasant, just for an example. Now all those transactions would be registered inside your blockchain. Okay, and then it will be registered with the time, like when I have sent, what is the date of it, so everything would be present. Okay, like just for an example, I have transferred right now, so the timestamp will be registered and the date will be registered, just to make sure that the transparency is maintained. And one more important point which I always want to let you all know here is, blockchain is actually immutable. When I say immutable, right, any data, once it is inserted inside the blockchain, it can't be tampered. Neither you can tamper, neither I can tamper. Nobody can try to tamper the record. That is the core property of the blockchain, which makes it so strong that nobody can try to tamper the data. Let me say I initiated a transaction to Vasant. Okay, now I am the owner. Let me say I initiated it. Instead of Vasant, I have sent it to Henry. Then what is going to happen? Can I revert back the transaction? Can I change the transaction? No. Once it is being present inside the blockchain, right, it is never gonna be changed again. So you should be very much cautious to whom you are trying to send the money, or whatever you do, right, you have to test it. You have to be as much cautious as possible, so that once the data is passed inside the blockchain, right, neither you nor anybody in the network can try to help you out, because the core property of the blockchain itself is immutable. But why it is there? In order to enhance the security. If anybody is giving a chance to go ahead and try to tamper the record, then anyone can come and try to manipulate it. So instead of doing that, it's better that we protect it in a safe way by implementing immutability, so that nobody can actually try to tamper the record. So this is also an important thing which we actually need to consider. And you can own a full copy of the blockchain. If you are interested to download the entire blockchain, you can do it. Like, let me say from block 1 to, there are around some millions of blocks being present right now. If you are interested, and if you want to download that on your system, you can do it. That option is also available for you. If you don't want, that's up to you. Okay, but generally if you want, you can also own a full copy of the blockchain, so that you can be in the network and you can help the people who are really interested to validate some transactions and all, right? You can do that. Okay, so you may think in your mind right now, who creates the blocks inside the blockchain? I understand that there are so many blocks present. The average time is every 10 minutes the block will fall inside the blockchain. That's true, absolutely. But I want to understand who creates the blocks first of all. So the blocks are being created by the miners. Okay, there are miners who are being present in the network who creates the block inside the blockchain. See, I don't want to make it very complex to make you understand miners. Generally, miners topic itself is around 1 hour, where we take and understand the things in a better way, which we will be doing in our main training, that is in a certification training. But just to give you a glance what exactly is a miner means, let me say you that I am a software. Let us assume, okay, I am a software. There are around 6 people who are being present, for example. Okay, now all 6 of you all, okay, you want to go ahead and try to win certain thing. Now let me say, as a software, I will say to all 6 of you that, hey, I will throw a puzzle to all of you. Whosoever is going to crack that puzzle first, he will be declared as a winner. That's it. Okay, now what is happening here is, the software here is a Bitcoin software. Okay, that is me. Now all the 6 of you all who are being present here, you all are miners. In the world there are millions of miners. Okay, forget about the world, but let us take this situation, like where all the 6 of you all are miners. Now you need to solve the puzzle. Now when I say puzzle, don't think like it is a Sudoku or maybe some encrypted algorithm I'm giving you to solve it. It's very simple. Let me say I said I am a software. Okay, I have some number in my mind which all of you don't know because I didn't reveal it. I have some number in my mind which is random. I know about it. Rest of the people doesn't know. Now all of you will try to find out the number which matches with what I have said. Now how can you know that you don't know about it? So software will understand the moment, let me say, everyone will say some random numbers very quickly. Parallelly you will do. Okay, not one by one. If I'm giving one by one, right, then I'm leaving some people. So everyone will do parallelly. They will try to find out the number which matches with the software. And once the software recognizes that somebody has found out the number which matches with the software, right, immediately the software will declare that person as a winner. So what happens here? Let me say I have some number in my mind which you know, which no one knows about it. All of you will do parallelly. You'll try to find out some numbers. I will see all your numbers what you're trying to find out. Immediately when I see somebody has found out the number which matches with me, I will say stop. Okay, the computation is done. This person has found out the number which I have thought in my mind. So I will declare him as a winner. That person will actually be able to create the block inside the blockchain. See, there may be 10 miners, 100 miners, 1 crore miners, or million miners, doesn't matter. But there will be only one person who is going to find out that number which matches with the software. And that person is said to be creating the block inside the blockchain. And this is a cyclic process which keeps on happening for every 10 minutes. Okay, there will be a random number set by the software. Miners need to crack that random number, and whosoever is going to crack that random number which matches with the software, and along with that, that person should also be quick. The first person who finds it out, only he will be declared as a winner, not everyone, right? So that person will be able to create the block inside the blockchain. Okay, that is the reason why miner is the person who is responsible for creating the block inside the blockchain. Now, what are these two slides then? Just for an example, again, I'll come back to the example which we discussed. Out of six people here, let me assume that out of 6 miners, there is one winner, right? Obviously, there'll be only one winner, and the rest of the 5 are losers. Now, these 5 losers who are being present, right? They will validate the winner, that whether the winner has followed all the rules and regulations appropriately or not. Why? Because sometimes hacker may also come as a miner, and he may try to disturb the system. That is the reason why the losers will also go ahead and they will try to validate the winner, that whether the winner has been following all the rules and regulations appropriately or not, it will be verified. So here, if you could see, the losers will validate the winner, and among them, at least if majority of them, majority means 51%, at least if majority of the people agree, saying that yes, the winner has followed all the rules appropriately, then that winner will be able to create the block inside the blockchain. Until then, the winner will not be able to create it. Now, you may ask me that if the losers say that the winner has not followed all the rules, then again, the next process will start. The block will not fall inside the blockchain. The next process will start. At least among 5 people, 3 of them, that is majority is 3 among 5, right? At least if 3 of them say that yes, the winner has followed all of the things appropriately, then the block will be inserted inside the blockchain. In this way, what we are trying to do is, we are not making anybody to enter into the network and they are trying to hamper by making the validation to our winner. Okay, that is how generally it happens. Just to give you a very small overview, like how this blocks gets inserted into the blockchain. Okay, so miner is responsible for doing that. The miner who is there, he is responsible for creating the block inside the blockchain. You may ask me that there are millions of miners. Will everyone will be able to create the block? I say no. The person who is going to crack that number which is being set by the Bitcoin software, and he should be the first person to do it, only that person will be allowed to create the block inside the blockchain among millions of miners. Now, how about the rest of the miners? They are all lost in that respective round. They lost it. Okay, so they will validate the winner. Once the winner is validated, that majority of the people say that yes, this winner has done everything appropriately, then only the block will be pushed into the blockchain. That is one level of validation which will happen, so that we are not allowing any bad people into the network. Okay, so that is how this slide especially looks like. Okay, now if you see the blockchain applications over here, so if you see a traditional application, before I move on to the blockchain application, what is a traditional application? If you know about it, it is a client server model. Okay, basically we call it as a client server model. Client server model here means basically you will have your web browser. Okay, it may be a web browser like Chrome or a Brave or maybe Safari, whatever it is. Okay, so you just go ahead and try to connect to it. You send your request and the request will be passed, and then from a centralized server there will be only one single server, like where you will be able to get your information back again. Even today also, most of the companies are trying to do this approach, which is actually a very riskier one, which I'll make you understand right now. But this is the approach. Like, this is a client server model. This is your client and here is your server, which is the black one. Okay, so here the request will be sent like to the server, and the server will get all the information and it will send the response. Okay. Now inside your server, if you could observe here, inside your server, you will have all your APIs, which is your application programming interface, and then there will be a lot of data also present inside your server. So that's what it is trying to show you, that there is a lot of API and data also being present inside your server. Now, what happens, this APIs and data which is being present inside the server, right? Sometimes this will be taken away by Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, and then Twitter. Now they will use our information. We know that there is a right to privacy and all of those things, but if it is present inside a centralized server, right, they can go ahead and try to capture our information, and they can go ahead and try to use our data. If you could see, most of the times when you use some Facebook or LinkedIn or something like that, you see some of the ads being popped up to you in form of recommendations, that whether you want to purchase this or whether you want to purchase that. That means somewhere the data is present with them. That is the problem. The traditional problem is that you believe that your data is safe and secure, but as you know that your data is not at all safe and secure, and it is in the wrong hands sometimes. Okay, so that is one of the biggest pain point as of now. So what we are trying to do is we want to create a decentralized application. So before, what I said is centralized application, like where you have a single server and you get all the information from that single server itself. Whereas in the case of blockchain, everything is decentralized. That means, let me say you that all the 6 people are present here. Now we are having this webinar and this is getting recorded. So obviously this will be kept in a single server. That is a centralized server which I'm saying. Now let me say, instead of that, all the 6 people who are being present, 6 to 7 people, right? What is going to happen? The data will be distributed to all the 7 people. So all the 7 people will be able to get the recording in the node. So instead of having a single server, now the data is getting distributed to multiple servers over here. That is what we call decentralized mechanism. Rather than having a single server and making it more riskier, why don't we distribute the data and why don't we have multiple servers rather than being restricted to a single server? That is the concept here. When I say decentralized in this case, right, the data automatically gets distributed to multiple servers which are being present in the network. That is also one of the very core concept of the blockchain technology. In that way, what is going to happen? There is no single source like where you can capture the information. There is information in every node and the data is encrypted. Now if anyone wants to come and try to take the data from the node, you have to give the permission, otherwise they can't take. Let me say, now the recording will be distributed to multiple nodes. Now these nodes are controlled by you, the first person, let me say Henry, okay, Vishwanath, and then there are other people who have joined here, right? All of these people, what is going to happen here? You are the owners of the data. If I want to take something from this node, you have to give me the permission. Without you don't give me, right, I will not be able to take anything from it. From Facebook it may be, Google it may be, Twitter or a LinkedIn, anyone it may be, right? Without you not giving the permission, they can't take it. If you want to sell your data, you will be paid for that and you will sell it away if you are interested. If you don't want to sell, your right to privacy needs to be maintained, then you will not be giving them, because you are the decision maker and you are the owner of your node. So definitely it's up to you what decision you want to take it up. But whereas in the previous model, there is only one single server which is taken care by the organization, and organization can anytime give away the data. That we never know. If organization is really trustworthy, that's fine. Otherwise, it can give away to anyone from their server, because only there is a single central server. Whereas in the case over here, it is not going to happen, because everything is distributed. Once the data is distributed to your node or a server, until and unless you don't give the permission, nobody can try to take the data. Even if they want to tamper the data, as it is a blockchain concept, what did I say? It is immutable. Neither Google, Facebook can try to tamper, neither you can tamper the record. Once it is present inside the blockchain, nobody can actually try to tamper the record. In this way, we want to enhance the security by bringing in the decentralized approach. Okay, tech stack, if you could see the technology stack, what is that which you need to know? As I have already mentioned to you, this is Solidity. Okay, so if you could observe here, at the back end, you need to know Solidity. Solidity is your programming language which you need to use in order to create your entire backend code and everything. In terms of front end means that is your user interface and user experience, the websites which you see, right? For that, you can use whatever you want. Either you can use your HTML, your CSS. If you're interested in any front-end frameworks, like you can use your Angular, or either you can use something like, let me say, React. Okay, these are all are your front-end frameworks. And what is this Web3? Web3 is in between to connect your front-end and your back-end without the help of Web3 JavaScript, right? Here, this is a Web3 is a JavaScript library. So without using this Web3 JavaScript, right, you will not be in a position to connect your front end to your back end. In order to connect your front end to your back end, right, you need to have your Web3. That is a link to connect your front end and back end, because back end is different, which is designed on blockchain technology using Solidity. And whereas your front end, it doesn't relate to any technology. It is how attractive you can make your page, either by using your HTML, CSS, Angular, or React. And in order to connect these two guys, there is a Web3 who's sitting in between, so that it is acting as a link and it is connecting both your front end and back end. This is how the tech stack basically looks like, the technology stack. The advantages what you're going to get here is autonomy. Like, as blockchain does not support any third party or intermediaries, so you will not be seeing any third parties present here. There is no concept of third parties at all over here. Okay, so whatever you want to do, you can just do it on your own. Okay, so you will not be having any third parties being present in the system over here. Okay, that is the blockchain nature itself. Let me say, if I want to send some amount of money to someone else, it should be between me and the other person. There should not be any bank or anyone being sitting between us. That is how blockchain is trying to say, no third party or intermediaries. There should be autonomy. If I want to send to someone else, then it is my right to send to someone else directly. Why should we have someone else in between when I want to do the transaction or sending any amount of data? That is what autonomy is. Trust, automatically the trust is there, because as you very clearly know that whatever data is inserted inside the blockchain, nobody can try to tamper because of its immutability property. And as the data gets encrypted, right, so there is a good amount of trust being present here. And backup, as I said you, so the same amount of data will be distributed to multiple nodes. So let me say if there are 100 nodes, out of them, at least if 20 nodes are not working also, you don't need to worry, because your data is backed up in rest of the 80 nodes. In 100 nodes, if 20 nodes doesn't work, but still there are 80 nodes to work for you. So you don't need to worry about it. Whereas in the case of centralized server, what is going to happen? If you just have a single server, and if anything happens to that server, right, you're gone then. You can't do anything if you don't take a backup. So here backup is also provided appropriately as the data gets distributed to the multiple nodes inside the network. And then comes the accuracy. Here, if you see, the accuracy is also really great, because we use our Solidity programming language, and we make sure that less amount of manual work is also being done. Here we try to make everything automated by writing the Solidity programming language, by creating the applications, right? We make the things very much automated. Rather than doing the manual tasks, we want to write the code using Solidity and make the things more automated rather than being dependent on the manual work. These are some of the advantages which we are getting. What is a DApp? DApp means it is your decentralized application, we call it as. Okay, as you know, blockchain is decentralized, like where you have distributed nodes and servers. So that is the reason it is decentralized apps. Okay, in short, it is called as a DApp. Now block verify, if you see, this is one of the decentralized application. So this block verify which is present, right, it is being created to identify if there are any counterfeit applications or anybody is trying to enter into the network. It is also non-duplicatable. Okay, and then it also verifies all the details, and it gives you a global solution for it. Okay, if you just observe it here, so if there are any counterfeit goods, like just for an example, in your supply chain, if you observe that there are so many goods being present, if there are any fake products or if there are any counterfeit goods, right, it can be detected by the block verify. And if any of the products gets diverted, like let me say somebody is trying to steal, or somebody is taking away the products into some other direction, then all those products which gets diverted, right, even that can also be verified using the block verify. And again, as I said you, if any merchandise who is been there and who is trying to steal the things, then that can also be verified using the blockchain. And if there are any fraudulent transactions been happening, even that can also be detected by a block verify. If you just want to have a glance towards the block verify, this is your block verify organization. Okay, so this is how generally it looks like. So you can just use this block verify application and you can be able to find out like whatever I have mentioned right now. Okay, so if you see here, like where you can try to track all these things and verify and make sure that everything is appropriate. Okay, you can just find out whether goods are right or not, whether the products are getting diverted or not, and if anybody is trying to steal away the items or not, and if there are any fake transactions, we can also go ahead and try to verify that using the block verify part. Okay, so and then we have a Ripple. So Ripple is also generally it is like a cryptocurrency which is being present here. Okay, so in this Ripple cryptocurrency, what is actually going to happen? Okay, if you could observe here, right, in this case, it is basically okay, unreliable and expensive and slow. Okay, so whatever which is being present here, right, actually when I talk about Ripple, okay, so why Ripple is having the advantage when compared to, let me say, other things which are being present here, right? So first thing what you need to consider here is unreliable, expensive and slow. What is this? These are general transactions. The general transactions are unreliable. Unreliable means if you do any international transactions, right, it would take some time, even 20 days or even more than a month to settle the transaction. And at the same time, it is also expensive, that you need to pay a lot of transaction fee to settle the transactions also. And as I said, gradually the transactions are also slow when I want to do some amount of international transactions. These are some of the pain points with a normal transaction. That is the reason why Ripple came into limelight. Now, what is that Ripple is trying to do? Basically, Ripple tries to target your financial institutions. Whatever your financial institutions are present, right? There, this Ripple is actually trying to target. If I just go a little bit further, what is that Ripple is providing you? It is giving you good amount of access. Like it is protecting your account by giving you your public key and private key so that you wouldn't be able to share with anyone. Public key you can share, that is absolutely fine, but private key will be secret and you have to put it secret for yourselves. And it is fast. Fast means it's lightning fast. It can be done within seconds. The transaction will be completed. That is one of the very important point of Ripple. That is the reason why instead of doing general transactions, which I said you, which is unreliable, the transaction cost is high, and at the same time, even if you could see, it is slow. Whereas with the help of Ripple, it is fast, where it can be done within seconds. The transactions doesn't matter even if it is an international transaction or a domestic transaction which you are trying to do. And it is very reliable because, as you know, that it is been everything is present inside the blockchain, so that's not going to create any issue. Low cost, when I say low cost, right, it is around 0.001 is the transaction fee. Very minimal, by providing you the best services, so that you can see that your amount will be settled even if it is an international transaction within seconds, and they are also taking a very minimal fee for it. That is how Ripple is actually playing a very vital role in a financial institutions, especially in the banks. It plays a very vital role. This is also another important application of the blockchain technology, which we call it as Ripple. Okay, and then we have Storj. So what is this Storj over here? Basically, this Storj is also really a good platform. So what is that this Storj basically tries to do is, let me first try to show you over here. This is the Storj site. Okay, if you see here, this is your Storj site. Here what is going to happen is, any data which you have, you can go ahead and try to store that data in the Storj, which is been an blockchain application actually, so that you can store all your data over here. And if you see, your data is decentralized in this case because it is an application of your blockchain technology. If you observe here, everything in this case is secure, everything is encrypted, so that nobody can actually try to tamper anything. And then it is private, so that all your data will be with you, so that nobody can actually try to tamper. Available whenever you want, the data will be available for you. Okay, and then along with that, you can just go ahead and try to use, like it is fast and you can upgrade to whatever versions you want. S3 compatible means it is like a storage, like where it can store your data. Open source, like anybody can go ahead and try to use it. Okay, you can store your data all over the world. What does that indicate? Your file will be segregated into multiple pieces and it will be distributed across multiple nodes which are being present. So it is being scattered. If you see all throughout the world, it is being scattered, the nodes. So automatically the file which you are going to store inside the storage, it will be distributed across all the nodes which are being available. Okay, so and one more good point over here is, if you have any node with you, you can also host that node in the storage and you will be given some amount of money for it. Let me say I have 100 GB of my server, which we call it as a node. Among them I'm utilizing only 20 GB. 80 GB is waste of space, I'm not utilizing it. Then you can come and host that 80 GB inside the storage. Okay, like where you will be paid for it, like whatever the disk space which you are giving for them to utilize it. Even that service is also been provided over here, like where you can go and host your node if there is any disk space available for you. Okay, this is how storage basically looks like. Okay, I hope I have given you some good clarity over here. Now if I go back again to my presentation, as I said you, everything will be encrypted. Whatever data you're going to insert inside the storage platform, everything is going to be encrypted over here, so that you could see that your data which is being present, right, it will not be taken away by anyone. Even if it is taken away, the data will be encrypted so that they will not be able to find out what exactly is the real content behind it. And then shredding, as I said, right, so shredding, if you could see what is going to happen, your main file will be segregated into multiple parts and it will be distributed across all the nodes which are being present inside the world. That's how it actually plays a vital role. And everything is distributed, as you know that the nodes are being scattered all over the world, so everywhere the data gets distributed. And there will also be a good amount of audit happening, so that the data which is being kept inside the storage is of appropriate and secure data, rather than just sharing whatever you like. Okay, so there will be a good amount of audit happening in terms of security standards and identifying that whether everything is appropriate or not. This is how storage is also another application which is actually a good thing in terms of the blockchain applications. Okay, and then we have Augur. In this case, if you observe the Augur here, right, with the help of the Augur, what you can do is, this is also another blockchain application. Here you can predict the things. It may be weather, it may be politics, it may be company forecasting, like how the revenue would grow, and then events. Generally, all these are called events. Okay, it may be weather, it may be political discussion, it may be company discussion. All these are called as events over here. Now what is going to happen here? So this is a trigger. Like generally there are 7 people who are being present here. So now all 7 of us will say to Augur, okay, saying that, hey, we are expecting that today the weather will be around, let me say, 70 Fahrenheit, just for an example. Now if it turns out to be the same, then all the 7 people will get some reward from the Augur blockchain. Now some people who say some predictions which are not right, they will lose the rewards whatever they have, or otherwise they'll move to negative. It is like a betting platform. Okay, like gambling and all which you have, right? It's a sort of a same nature, like where you're going to predict the things, and if it is right, you will be getting some reward. If it is not, then you will be losing your reward which you have kept. Okay, so in that way basically the Augur works. The domains will be different, whether political, games, company, whatever you want, you can add it inside it. And all of these are called as events. Okay, so in that way even Augur blockchain application is also being created. And then what is that which you are going to learn in the blockchain and Ethereum certification training? If you could see, first module will be the origin and working of the blockchain technology, like where you will be understanding the fundamentals of the blockchain, and then a hands-on related to it, like where we will be able to see the demo. The second module will all be about the cryptocurrency and blockchain. We'll understand how blockchain and cryptocurrency are connected in the real world, and then a hands-on related to it. The third module is all about the Bitcoin platform and exploring the hands-on related to its wallets and everything, how to create a wallet, how to transfer the money, what are different wallets available, what is trading, what is an exchange. All those things we will also be doing on hands-on. The fourth module is mining, like where we will be seeing how the mining looks like, what are different hardware equipments which are being available, and how we can try to do mining on our own if we are interested. So all those concepts we will be doing, seeing it in our hands-on part. Fifth module is Ethereum, which is also another important application of the blockchain technology. Like whatever I've explained to you right now, the Augur, Storj, all of them are being designed using Ethereum. Okay, so and I will also explain to you the hands-on related to Ethereum part. The sixth module will be the Solidity basics. Okay, so as part of Solidity basics, we will understand what is Solidity and how we can actually try to work on. If you don't have prior programming experience also, that's fine. Okay, because this is altogether a new programming language. We are not using any existing programming language to understand it. Okay, so this is already a new programming language. So the people who already know about the programming and the people who doesn't know anything related to programming, it will be a new to everyone. So we don't need to worry about that here. And then a hands-on related to it, like where we will be dealing with some basic programs. And then we have our advanced Solidity, and then we will be doing some advanced programs. The eighth module will be, we will be creating a D-app, a decentralized application, which I'm trying to make you understand right now. We will create our own application using a truffle framework. That's hands-on means that's where we will be creating everything. Okay. And then the ninth module, if you observe here, it is all about the hyperledger part. Okay. And then the 10th module is to create our own private blockchain, which we call it as our multi-chain. And this, yes, we will be doing a hands-on. And there is another module which is missed here, which is our 11th module, where I will be discussing to you again about the different applications of the blockchain technology, use cases in different other sectors like healthcare, elections, stock trading, and then agriculture. We will be covering a wide variety of sectors also over there. Okay, that is another applications which we will be focusing on. Okay, so this is what we are going to learn in the 36 hours of blockchain certification training, like where we will be covering a wide variety of topics, if I would say. Okay, and then the last application for today is 𝐸𝐵𝐿ANCE. Okay, 𝐸𝐵𝐿ANCE is probably more of like if you want to get some job or if you want to do some freelancing work, then you can go ahead and try to use this 𝐸𝐵𝐿ANCE. Okay, so here you will be having a 0% service charge. Everything is decentralized, and then it's free, so you don't need to pay anything. And you can, it's similar like if you have Indeed and then Naukri.com, it's the same like that. We have 𝐸𝐵𝐿ANCE, like where you can put up your resume and you can just see that if any of the companies are interested with your profile, or if any of the organization wants to do some freelancing with you, whether your profile suits or not. It's more of in that nature. Okay, this is what we call 𝐸𝐵𝐿ANCE basically. So here if you could see, 𝐸𝐵𝐿ANCE doesn't take a percentage of your earned ether. For example, let me say, generally if you have a freelancing tools, what happens is, like let me say there is a freelancer, okay, who got a project from a respective organization. So what happens here, these freelancing tools will take some amount of commission from you. Like let me say, if the organization is paying you the entire amount, among them, let me say around 5% or a 2% of money they will take, because they have given you that opportunity, that platform. Whereas in the case of 𝐸𝐵𝐿ANCE, there is no such thing. Whatever the deal which you have done with the organization as a freelancer, right, entire amount will be given to you. So 𝐸𝐵𝐿ANCE is not going to take even a single penny as a middleman or as a commission, because they have provided you that opportunity. They don't do that. That is one of the unique point which 𝐸𝐵𝐿ANCE is providing when compared to other freelancing platforms or tools. Okay, this is what 𝐸𝐵𝐿ANCE generally does. It is not going to take any commission. Whatever the deal which you have done, the entire amount will be provided to you once the work is completed. Okay, and yeah, if you want to do some premium things, if you want to get and apply to those premium companies and all, then you need to pay some amount of ethers for it. If you want to make sure that your profile is noticed to a large set of people, to a large set of companies or organizations, then you can pay some extra amount of ethers and you can do this. Facility is also provided in other platforms, like where if you pay some amount of extra money, you will be given some premium sort of things, and then like where you see that your profile gets listed to a lot of companies and all. So in that way, when ethylene also takes some advantage and it asks you some amount of ethers if you want your profile to be highlighted. Otherwise, you can also leave it normally. That's also fine. And then the hands-on means if you want to go ahead and try to do anything on your own, then you can just go with your Remix IDE. Okay, this is your Remix IDE, if I would say. So Remix IDE is basically a platform. Okay, if you see Remix Ethereum IDE. Okay, basically the Remix IDE which is being present, this is a platform like where you write your code. Your Solidity code is written inside the Remix platform. Okay, this is your Remix Ethereum IDE which we call it as, where you can go ahead and try to write your own code. Okay, if you go to your contracts, basically your code would look something like this, but you don't need to worry as we have not discussed anything related to it. So as of now we are not going to worry about it, but this is just the platform which I want to highlight. Like whenever we want to write the Solidity code, this is the platform. This is a browser based tool where you don't need to download anything. Just you need to have an active internet, and any browser will work. It doesn't matter. You can go ahead and open the tool and start writing your code, and you can compile and deploy your code inside it. Okay, that's how basically this works. And the people who have confusion that, okay, if I close it, will I be able to get the same code? Yes, you can do that. Okay, because basically everything is stored inside your cache. Now you may say me that if my cache is deleted or if my system is formatted, then what I can do, I will always say you then to take a backup. Whenever you complete these things, right, always take a backup of it. It's good to take a backup, otherwise it's going to create an issue for us. Okay, if you observe here, let me say, okay, see, you can go ahead and try to download it in your local system. You can just download it, load a local file into the current workspace. The entire workspace will go ahead and it will be downloaded for you. Or otherwise, you can, whatever folders if you want to create, you can create a folder, you can create a new file if you want. So you can just take a backup of the entire part. Okay, see, you can download your backup from here also. At the home, at the top, you can go and then download your backup, so that all the files will be downloaded in your local system. By any chance, if anything goes away, it will be again difficult, right? So better to take up a backup. And whenever you want to restore the backup, you can always restore it in the same tool itself. So these two provisions are also being provided to you. Okay, so this is also another important point which you need to consider. So yeah, this is one of the tool which we generally use in order to write a code. And I hope I have given you all the enough clarity, like whatever is required. Okay, that's all the tools which we need. And thank you for listening to me patiently. Bye everyone.